All right, welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi, and finally, this is my final January transfer video, and I'm gonna be assessing the transfer window, the fruits and the bargains we got out of that transfer window. Smash the like button, get your subscriptions in because we are going to be speaking much of statistics and facts. So get your heads ready. I rarely do with statistics. I don't know. I do not like them, but we're gonna be assessing what it means for us to offload almost 6 players in one transfer window. It was remarkable. It was remarkable. Someone was telling me actually that because you said you are rating this transfer window at 7.5, and this morning I rated it at 7, and the reason was just clear that I said if we get a left back, I'm gonna rate this this transfer window at 7.5, but since we never signed a backup left back, I trimmed the marks to 7, and I think we did very well. So we're going to be discussing that, and more especially, does it mean that Arsenal has finally rectified their transfer policy? That and more is coming up just after this. So, welcome back. I'm gonna say it was a busy transfer window for us. Very busy. Not busy like many of you had expected, or many of us had expected. I thought we were gonna sign an Asamoah for 50 million because we were doing so poorly in December, in November, in September. So, we almost went 2 months without a win. In the Premier League, and you understand the frustration that many people had. Before the transfer window, prior to the transfer window, and the expectations and the ambitions of fans can all be explained by the lack of results in September and November, respectively. But after January, I'm gonna say Arsenal didn't sign in more than 2 players, and only one is a starter, because I think Ryan Matiland is gonna be a backup goalkeeper for Burnley, and so we literally signed one player that could actually put an impact to our squad, and that's Martin Odegaard. But the truth is, I think we had a remarkable transfer window, and these are going to be my reasons. We are going to be looking at some of the players that we let out, their wages, how much we are saving, and what it actually means for us in the coming transfer window in the summer, because I think we shall need to let more players go first and foremost, but we shall also need to replace some of these players that we have actually let go in this transfer window. So I'll start off by showing you. Just look at this. These are almost 11 players. Now, this is not the squad I want, is it? But apart from Burnley, I think these are almost 10 players that Arsenal should have let go, or players that should be out of Arsenal. You look at Bellerin, you look at Socrates, you look at Mustafi, you look at Kolasinac, you look at Willock, Xhaka, Ceballos, Ozil, Lacazette. And of course, another player. Of course, Leno is not included. I don't know why I included Leno. I think it's in my default system that whenever I'm picking a lineup for Arsenal, I'll pick Leno. But why I say we had a very remarkable transfer window is Socrates is gone, Mustafi is gone, Ozil is gone. Ceballos is on a loan deal from Real Madrid. Probably at the end of the summer, he's going to be gone. Jose Willock is gone on loan. Alexander Lacazette is still here. Granit Xhaka is still there. Kolasinac is gone. So, I think this is one of the things we wanted. Can Arsenal actually drive out the dead wood that has been affecting this club? The quality of our squad, having 27 players, at Arsenal, but you cannot select an easy 10. Basing on their quality. I think that was one of the challenges that Mikel Arteta had in November, in December, throughout last year, you have 27 players, but you just want 11 to represent the team on the pitch, but you do not have the quality. And I think we are really doing that very well. But apart from the quality, apart from quality-wise, we could also look at how much these players have been earning. And this is it. This is it. Look, Alexander Lacazette is getting 182,000. That is per week. Mesut Ozil, 350,000 per week. Ozil is gone. Let's just look at Mustafi and Socrates. So you look at Scotland Mustafi at 90k per week, Socrates at 92k per week, and then Sid Kolasinac at 100k. Now that means Arsenal is saving almost 700k per week. 700k, 700k per week. That is, that means you're saving 7 million per 10 weeks, just because you've let some players go. And I think this is why I'm going to say this transfer window has been so remarkable. So remarkable. One of the problems we have is finances, but it doesn't make sense to say you have problems with finances, yet you have players like Sid Kolasinac, you have players like Socrates, you have players like Mustafi who are getting a lot of money and they're not contributing. In the summer, you think players like David Louis will leave, players like Granit Xhaka, both of them getting 100k, both of them will leave the club. And I think that's going to be another big step towards trimming the squad and towards getting in the right players in the right positions. So I think you guys, can do some math here. You have Socrates at 90. You have you have Socrates at 92. You have Scotland Mustafi at 90. That is already 182,000. Then you have Sid Kolasinac also at 100. That is 282,000. Then you have, you could add Joe Willock and Ainsley Maitland-Niles to make that a complete 300. Then you have Mesut Ozil living at, what he's been earning 350k per week. That means that, that's already 650k plus that has been saved from Arsenal's actually budget. I think Edu has done a great job, a great job. But let us go back and see what does this transfer window actually mean for the summer, because for me that's what is more interesting. We have had almost six centre backs. William Saliba, Scotland Mustafi, Socrates Papastopoulos, David Louis, Rob Holding, Pablo Mari, I think, and Chambers. Now those are 7 centre backs. Now the question is, where the hell do you find a club that has 7 centre backs? At least if we had 10 midfielders and we're only using 3, that is understandable. I've seen so many clubs have, an excess of 7, an excess of 6 midfielders. But what are we doing with 7 centre backs? It's a question. And, despite the fact that we had 7 centre backs, we are not the best team in the league, defensive wise. We were not. We were conceding silly goals. Of course, look at the quality of Mustafi. You look at the quality of Socrates. You look at the quality of players like Chambers. They are not fit to be at this football club. So, I think that is one of the things that we have actually done. So, in the summer, like many people think that we shall go for a centre back. I don't think we need to go for a centre back. William Saliba needs to come and play football. I don't know whether Chambers is going to stay, but Rob Holding and Gabriel Magalhaes plus Pablo Mari. I think those should be the 4 centre backs that actually stay at the club. 4 or 5. We only need to retain 4 centre backs. They're enough. I think they are because look at City. They have Nathan Ake, they have Ruben Diaz, they have John Stones, they have Emerick Laporte. They also have an Eric Garcia somewhere who's going to be going to Barcelona in January in the summer. They have they have almost 6, but one is going. They have 5, but we do not run the same budget as City. You know that. So, basing on our budget, we should be having 4 centre backs. They're enough, for Christ's sake. They're enough. 2 left-footed, 2 right-footed centre backs, and I think that's a great job. So I do not expect Arsenal to go out in the summer and be chasing defenders. Those are not our priority areas. But just to focus, the first area we need to focus on in the summer is getting a backup left back. Sidko Lazinak, I don't think he's going to be coming back at Arsenal, and he shouldn't be coming back. So that leaves a vacancy. It means Kian Tierney has no backup, and we've been using Cedric all the season. As a bench player, and all of a sudden he gets relevance. And how does he get that relevance? He's coming in as a backup left back, yet he's typically a right back, for KNT. And I think that is one of the things we have to do in the summer. Go out there and sign a left back, sign a backup left back. That is that's the first position we have to be looking at. Now, the other position I think we should be looking at is the right back. Ainsley Maitland-Niles has gone out on loan to West Bromwich Albion, a deal that I did disagree with personally inside me, but I think getting playing time was the priority of the player, so I had to agree on those terms. Bellerin is not good enough. Cedric is not good enough. The truth is, we need to get a right back. We've been linked with Ashraf Hakimi, a player that I do not think will sign for Arsenal, because spending 40 million on a right back for a club like Arsenal, unless we are going to buy one player in the summer, and I don't think that's what we need. So I think it also means that Arsenal have to go out there in the summer to get a right back. In the midfield, Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard, and Emile Smith-Rowe. I think those are the only valid names I can mention. Granit Xhaka, I think it's to our advantage. He has a great season. He's playing very well. That means you can cash in on him at around 12, 15 million, or even 17 million to another club. I think it's one of those players that actually have to leave. Arsenal needs to do better, and I think according to Mikel Arteta's press, pressing football, I don't think he is that kind of player that fits in, and I'm not going to be very surprised if I see Emile Smith-Rowe, Odegaard, and Thomas Partey in that midfield, excluding Granit Xhaka. However much he's on form, and I think we need to get a player who partners Thomas Partey. That is what it means. Of course, you would think Martin Odegaard signing on a permanent deal, to play with Emile Smith-Rowe, but that is a little bit tricky, and I'll talk about that deal later on in a separate video. Can Odegaard stay on a permanent deal? Can we retain him on a permanent deal? What are the consequences we have to go through? How much do we need to pay? And so much. So I think we need a midfielder to partner Thomas Partey, and then we shall need a number 10 or a creative player. Either we retain Martin Odegaard, which would be a very, very nice deal, or what we do is we go out there and get a player, a number 10. There's so many number 10s. You can even go for Maddison or Grealish. Of course, I'm kidding. That's a lot of money. Up front, Mesut Ozil has left. Like I said, we need a number 10 to replace Mesut Ozil. But we have players like Edin Nketiah and Alexander Lacazette. Actually, I should include Nketiah around here. I think Nketiah is a good player. He's a very good, developing talent. But I don't see him as a player who's going to develop in the quality that Arsenal need. He's not that kind of player. He's not going to become that kind of, player that Arsenal need. That kind of quality. That kind of, striker that puts away 2 chances out of 3. The same as Alexander Lacazette. He's having a very great season. I'll speak the same words I said about Granit Xhaka. They're having, they're having good spells in this season. That means you can, sell them, for a little bit of a higher price. We need to get a striker. We need to get someone who can help Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang score at least 15 goals, and as Aubameyang scores the 20. And of course, I don't think Aubameyang is going to be scoring 20 goals per season over the next 3 years of his contract. So I think he might be scoring 15. So we need to get in a striker who can actually be a little bit more reliable. So I think that is what this transfer window actually means for us, and what it means for our coming transfer window in the summer. But it's been great. I'm gonna say it's been great. I give it a 7 out of 10, and it doesn't mean that the manager was backed. I think much of the credit is going to go out to Edu. The work he has done, letting these players go, getting in, the right players in the right places from the right clubs in the right time. I think we have done it remarkably well. So that has been my assessment of the transfer window. If you have thoughts otherwise, you can actually tell me through the comments, and if you have comments in support, you can also tell me through the comment box. But I think that is it. I think basically us, this transfer window has been to help the financial, the financial legs of the club, trying to show, trying to show us that we can actually stand financially, stable if we let some players go. And I think we have actually done it perfectly well. I'll speak to you in the next video, if only you smash the like button and you get your subscriptions in as well.